I remember the days when I used to diet and binge, all I could think about was food. It seemed that it occupied most of my time. From the moment I opened my eyes until I went to sleep, I was planning, plotting, and wondering how much, when, and what am I going to eat. And this has started at a time when I went on my first diet. When food was restricted, I thought about it more because it was forbidden. Just imagine if someone told you, don't think about eating chips, and then all you could think about would be eating chips. Whatever our thoughts are, whether they are positive or negative, whether we say think about it or don't think about it, that is exactly what our brain will focus on. My name is Lucia Vera Cruz, and for those of you who don't know me, I help moms overcome emotional and binge eating and lose weight without dieting. And we do this by changing the mindset and physiology in order to overcome challenges such as overeating, sugar addiction, or resisting cravings without needing any willpower. And in today's blog, I wanted to show you how not to think about food all the time, and here are the steps. And step number 1 is throwing the thoughts in the trash by shifting our mindset. Back in the days when I started to work on my mindset, I used the strategy that my therapist suggested, which was throwing some thoughts in an imaginary trash. So when a thought popped up that was not useful, like that I should carry on eating even though I just finished my meal and I was not hungry, I would just throw it in an imaginary trash. So I wouldn't fight it or try to control it. I would acknowledge it, accept it, I would confirm that I'm definitely not hungry, and then I would discard it. And this was one of the simpler methods I used that worked really well sometimes. And step number 2 for not thinking about food all the time was preventing those thoughts popping up in the first place. And we can do this by stopping dieting and restrictions, by nourishing ourselves with an adequate amount of food, and by changing our habits. When we go on a diet, we restrict some types of food or lower our calories, we get into survival mode. And when we are in survival mode, we are telling our brain that some food won't be available for a while. And in order to preserve our energy stores, our brain sends signals to search for more food to prevent starvation. See, the brain doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is in our imagination. All it knows that food will be limited. So probably one of the most important steps to take in order to stop thinking about food all the time is to stop dieting and restricting ourselves so we get out of survival mode. If our diet is not as healthy or nourishing as we would like, we can focus on what do we get to add to our diet to nurture ourselves instead of what is not allowed. And that way, we will be able to feel more satisfied, we will quiet down our survival instincts and reduce the food-focused thoughts. Another way of preventing these food-focused thoughts from appearing is by eating an adequate amount of food and eating a different variety of food. When we get busy throughout the day and we skip meals here and there, thoughts about food will appear out of nowhere, prompting us to eat. And by that time, we are probably really hungry, which will just increase our appetite, making us think about food for the rest of the day. Also, if our diet is low on nutrients and variety, we are most likely to feel less satisfied thinking about food more often. And if you are worried about gaining weight by eating an adequate amount of food and nutritious food that satisfies you, then think about this. What happens to your weight when you diet and then you binge all the time? And then compare it to what would happen with your weight if you just eat nourishing food that satisfied you and stop binging. In the first option, you are more likely to lose weight and then gain more weight back, and then lose weight again, and then keep gaining the weight back, going up and down for years to come. In a second option, you will start losing weight slowly as your body relaxes and your metabolism and digestion improve until you reach the weight that is healthy and comfortable for your shape. And lastly, we can quiet our food-focused thoughts by changing our habits. If we are in a habit of eating something sweet after each meal, then that is exactly what we will think about. However, if we change this habit and have a cup of tea instead, then our thoughts about food will shift to having a cup of tea. Whatever we are used to doing, that is exactly what we will think about. So if you want to stop thinking about food all the time, change your habits in order to shift your focus from food and start living. And if you need more help changing your mindset and shifting your perspective, you can click on a link below. I have prepared a free training video for you where I talk about more strategies on how to overcome emotional and binge eating. You will also be able to schedule a free strategy call with me where we can talk about what is holding you back and if I can help you break through those obstacles. So click on a like or share with a friend that you think might find this useful. Alternatively, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel for more helpful tips on how to achieve balance and freedom from food forever. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more training videos on how to overcome emotional eating and achieve balance forever.